Deep in Central Africa, a war is happening that most of the world doesn't know about. It's called the Ambazonia War, and sometimes the Cameroonian Civil War. It's a terrible fight where people want to govern themselves. This fight started because of old problems and because some people feel left out of the government. This conflict, which grew out of the Anglophone crisis, has set the Cameroon government against armed separatists fighting for an independent state they call Ambazonia. Many people have died, even more have lost their homes. Most countries haven't paid much attention to this crisis. But we need to start caring. Many people are suffering, and this war could cause problems for other countries in the area. This video will explain how the Anglophone crisis started. We'll talk about the important people involved and why they are fighting. We'll also look at how this war hurts people and how it affects nearby countries. Finally, we'll talk about how to make a lasting peace. Cameroon has a complicated history. It used to be a German colony, but after World War I, it was split between France and Britain. This created two different cultures and languages in one country. French Cameroon became independent in 1960. Then, the southern part of British Cameroons decided to join French Cameroon as a federation. But that didn't last long. In 1972, a vote changed the government. Now, the French-speaking majority controlled the whole country. This made the English-speaking minority feel left out. They didn't have the same power, jobs, or fairness as the French speakers. For many years, they felt angry and resentful. English speakers faced discrimination in schools, courts, and government services. They felt like their culture was being erased. In 2016, all this anger exploded into the Anglophone crisis. It started with teachers and lawyers peacefully protesting. They wanted changes, but it quickly turned into a war. The government reacted with violence, making people even angrier and more determined to fight. In 2016, peaceful protests started in the English-speaking parts of Cameroon. Teachers and lawyers wanted changes in schools and courts. They wanted a system that would give more power to their regions. The government reacted with violence. Soldiers shot at protesters and shut down the internet. This made people even angrier. The calmer voices were ignored, and angrier leaders took charge. On October 1, 2017, these leaders declared that they were now a new country, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, named after Ambas Bay. Now it wasn't just protests, it was a war. Armed groups like the Ambazonia Defense Forces, ADF, started fighting. The ADF, led by Lucas Ayaba Cho, became known for its military strength and its refusal to give in to the Cameroon government. They have been accused of terrible things like killing people, kidnapping, and forcing children to fight. The Ambazonia War has many different groups involved, each with its own goals. It's important to understand these groups to understand the war. The Ambazonia Governing Council, led by Lucas Ayaba Cho until recently, is the main group that wants Ambazonia to be independent. They mostly work from outside Cameroon, with Cho living in the United States. It's not clear how much power they have inside Ambazonia. The Ambazonia Defense Forces is the main fighting group. They have thousands of fighters, control some areas, and fight the government a lot. The Cameroon government, led by President Paul Biya, has fought the separatists and sometimes tried to talk to them. But many people say the government uses too much violence and doesn't fix the real problems that started the crisis. When Lucas Ayaba Cho was arrested in Norway on September 24, 2024, it was a big shock. Cho, the leader of the Ambazonia Governing Council, was arrested for encouraging crimes against humanity. Police in Norway, the US, Cameroon, and Nigeria all worked together to arrest him. Cho's arrest is a major event. He was seen as a strong leader who wouldn't compromise. Now that he's gone, maybe peace talks can start. But the ADF, which doesn't follow Cho's group, is still fighting. No one knows how Cho's arrest will change things. Some people think it might help start peace talks because calmer leaders might be willing to negotiate now. Others worry it will make things worse, with different ADF groups fighting for power. The Ambazonia War has created a terrible crisis. Hundreds of thousands of people have left their homes. Some have gone to other parts of Cameroon, and some have gone to Nigeria. The United Nations thinks over 700,000 people are displaced inside Cameroon, and more than 60,000 have gone to Nigeria. This war is hurting many people. Villages have been burned, schools and hospitals have been attacked. Regular people are caught in the fighting. People don't have enough food, water, or medical care. The world needs to help the people in Cameroon. Groups that help people in need don't have enough money or access to the dangerous areas. Countries around the world need to give more help and tell everyone involved in the fighting to stop hurting people. The Ambazonia War isn't just a problem for Cameroon, it's affecting other countries too. The fighting has spread to Nigeria, which already has its own problems. The refugees from Cameroon are making things harder for Nigeria. Other countries are also involved. France, which used to control Cameroon, still has a lot of power there and has given weapons to the government. The United States says it doesn't take sides, but it's worried about the violence and wants a peaceful solution. The Ambazonia War shows how hard it is to manage different cultures and languages in Africa. It shows the lasting problems from colonialism and how weak some countries are. The world needs to help fix the problems that started this war and help Cameroon become peaceful and safe. Making a lasting peace in Cameroon will be difficult. Just fighting won't work. We need to fix the original problems, encourage people to talk, and make sure people are held responsible for the bad things they've done. First, we need to fix the problems that the English-speaking people have. This means fixing past unfairness, making sure everyone has equal chances to go to school and get jobs, and protecting their culture and language. Second, the government and the English-speaking people need to talk. Everyone needs to be included in these talks, even the fighters. They need to talk about the main problems, including giving more power to the English-speaking regions. Third, anyone who hurt people needs to be held responsible. This means investigating and punishing anyone who committed terrible crimes. The Ambazonia War is a terrible tragedy. It's a war caused by old problems, people being left out of the government, and people not having basic freedoms. Thousands of people have died. Hundreds of thousands have lost their homes, and many are suffering. The world can't ignore this anymore. Too many people are getting hurt, and the problems could spread to other countries. It's time for the world to help stop the fighting, fix the problems that started the war, and help Cameroon find peace.